Accokeek, Maryland. Where is it? And is it like a forgotten part of Prince George's County? Well, look, if you're looking to find out more about Accokeek and all things Accokeek, Maryland, you're in the right spot because we're about to talk about that right now. If you're new here, welcome. My name is Brittany Stinney, realtor serving the DMV area. And look, you might hear the word Accokeek and be like, what is that? It is, in fact, a city located in southern Prince George's County. Now, I always think the name is kind of unusual because it is a little unusual for other parts of Maryland. And if you're not familiar with the area, you might be like, what is Accokeek? But it's spelled Accokeek. And I actually think Accokeek is a very cool spot because to me, it's like a little hidden gem in Prince George's County. But before we get into all that, look, you want to make sure you subscribe, turn on your notifications because today we're talking about Accokeek, but on this channel here, we not only talk about various topics related to home buying, we also actually go look out at properties and take tours of homes and do all the good things that you want. And you want to make sure you don't miss out on any of that. So go ahead and subscribe and turn on your notifications. Now, if you have any questions about anything discussed today, or maybe just your home buying process, because look, whether you're looking to buy in the next 9 days or even the next 90 days, right there, you're going to find all my contact information, whether call, email, text, or virtual call, your girl's got you covered. And of course, if you're looking to sell, got you too. All right. But now let me stop talking about myself. Let's focus on the topic at hand, which is Accokeek, Maryland. So I have to confess, recently I posted a video showing off a property tour in Accokeek, and someone commented saying that Accokeek is like a stepchild of Prince George's County. It gave me a little chuckle because I thought that was kind of a weird way to say it, but I kind of got what they were saying, and then it also just made me think about things like, is Accokeek kind of like a forgotten place? But the other thing that was mentioned is that a lot of the roads are nothing but potholes and they haven't been paved in decades. Let's unpack that, y'all. And look, I appreciate the comments whenever you guys leave them, so feel free to leave more. I always love to hear your honest thoughts about the areas that we're reviewing because that's what we're here for, right? We're all learning and growing about Maryland and figuring out where you want to call your home. So in this video, we're going to talk about Accokeek, Maryland, the good, the bad, and yes, even the potholes. I feel we'll talk about that, but by the end, you're going to know if Accokeek is the right fit for you. And you want to make sure you actually stick around to the end because not only are we going to talk about homes and what they're selling for, but I'm going to even talk about some of my favorite personal features in Accokeek. Now, again, if this is totally new to you, you're like, what the heck is Accokeek and where is it? Let's talk about the location. So Accokeek sits in the southern part of Prince George's County, and you're going to be right along the Potomac River. So you're about 20 to 25 minutes away from National Harbor, maybe even a little less time than that. It really depends on where you're coming from. Now, to Northern Virginia, depending on exactly where you are in Accokeek, you could be, we'll just say an average of 30 minutes to get to Northern Virginia. And that's if traffic is on the good side. If traffic is a little rough, you're going to bank on about 30 to 45 minutes into DC. Now, the other cool thing about Accokeek is you're actually right next to Charles County, like you're literally bordering it, so like Waldorf area. And the cool thing about that is that's going to give you easy access to big box shopping, restaurants, and other conveniences. So that makes it kind of nice. But Accokeek itself, if you want like a quieter lifestyle with like more suburban meets rural feel, you're going to be in the right spot in Accokeek. Now let's talk about this whole roads and infrastructure thing because yeah, some roads in Accokeek are bumpier, they're older, and definitely could use repaving. I'm not going to lie. The thought wasn't wrong. And if you've ever driven around some of the smaller back roads, you know exactly what we're talking about. But here's the thing about Accokeek, right? It started more of a rural community, and a lot of the infrastructure was built decades ago. The updates haven't necessarily kept up with all the development going in, but there are some paving schedules underway. I know certain parts of Accokeek, not necessarily about the paving part, but I know they're building new road structures, for example, like roundabouts in various areas where the traffic is just a little hectic. I personally would love it if Accokeek could expand their roads, because if you've ever driven Accokeek, you know there are a lot of one-way roads, meaning one direction on each side. So like if they could have more 2 lanes, that would be great, but I don't know if that's going to happen. So yeah, if you're looking for like smooth, brand new roads everywhere, and that's high on your priority list, you might notice it's not quite that in Accokeek. But let's talk about some of the pros of living in Accokeek and why some people choose to call it home. The biggest reason is space, y'all. The homes in Accokeek tend to be larger, bigger yards, and this is especially compared to what you'll find closer to DC. There are a good amount of newer communities like the Preserve of Piscataway, St. James, and just to name a few, because there's new ones popping up all the time. I've even heard word of possibly Accokeek's first apartment complex. But with all these new developments, what they offer is newer construction communities, new amenities, and just that overall beautiful neighborhood feel. There are also a good amount of nature in parks. You got Piscataway Park, which gives you the beautiful Potomac River views, trails, wildlife, and it just feels peaceful in a way that you don't often get in other suburbs of Maryland. Another huge piece is not just the lot sizes and the houses themselves, it's the affordability, like what you can get for the amount of money that you get elsewhere. You can get way more bang for your buck in Accokeek as compared to other parts of Prince George's County, and definitely compared to Montgomery County and DC, and definitely Alexandria. If we were to look at $500,000 and what it gets you in Accokeek versus Alexandria, Virginia, or DC, or Montgomery County, you're going to get so much more for your money in Accokeek as compared to those areas. That comes with some drawbacks, right? Because no place is perfect. The biggest one is going to be the commute. There's no metro in Accokeek, y'all. It's no metro. If you're not car dependent, if you need access to various means of transportation, you don't want to come to Accokeek. It's just going to be rough. And so like if you're driving into work in DC or Northern Virginia, this could also mean longer commute times. Of course, traffic can make or break that, right? Now, there are limited shopping and dining experiences in Accokeek. So you are close to Waldorf, like I mentioned, you're close to National Harbor, but Accokeek itself doesn't have a lot of restaurants or shops. But let me give a shout out to my actual favorite restaurant in Accokeek, and that is BBU Kitchen. It's actually right across the street, or kind of like parallel, slightly across the street from the Accokeek Library, if you're familiar with that. But they have great food options there, and I love it. So shout out to BBU Kitchen. Now, the other challenge, and this really just depends on where you're located and who your service provider is, but internet and service, depending on, again, where you are, can sometimes be a little annoying. And then just the biggest challenge is actually related to what I was already saying about the metro. It's a very car-dependent area. Everything is kind of spread out. You're not necessarily going to be able to walk out of your house and go walk down to the street to the grocery store. You're going to need to be in your car, have somebody take you somewhere, or have something delivered to you. So let's talk about the housing, right? What about the homes? Because we talked about how much you can get for your bang for your buck out here, but let's actually talk about what you can get. In Accokeek, you're going to get a mix of larger homes, split-level homes, like some ranch homes, and then some that are newer luxury single-family homes, and even townhomes in some of these communities. So you can get a variety. As I mentioned earlier, there's possibility of an apartment complex coming to Accokeek. That'll be the first one that I know of, at least. And currently, there's not a lot of condo options, but you are going to get a lot of single-family homes and townhomes. The median home price for Accokeek is around the mid-$500,000 to low $600,000 range, but you can find homes starting in the $400,000 range, and it can go all the way up past the $900,000 range, just depending on what it is you're looking for. And that can include lot size and square footage as well, of course. But for a lot of families, that balance of price, size, and location is exactly why Accokeek makes sense to call home. So look, here's the truth. Accokeek does have its challenges. I do not think it's a forgotten city of Prince George's County. There are some roads that need some love, but it also offers space, affordability, and a lifestyle that a lot of people really value. Now the question is, does that trade-off make sense for you? Or would you rather have 2 lanes on each side, or smoother roads, or smaller homes, or even deal with a few potholes to exchange for more space? Like, what's important to you? I would love to hear your thoughts in the comments. Do you think this is kind of spot on? If you know about Accokeek, or if you don't know about Accokeek and you want to call it home and you want to know a little bit more, go ahead and drop it in the comments, or you know what to do. You see my contact information there. Call, email, text. Virtual call is actually the best way for us to connect. That way I can answer all of your questions real time and see if Accokeek is a good fit for you. And if it's not, if you're like, Brittany, absolutely not, don't put me in the country, I'm not doing it, but I do need to move somewhere in the DMV, the girls got you covered. All right, but other than that, I will see you on the next one.